deflected. It's caught by Tretьяка, who really has a glove hand there, and he's working it overtime.
There's no question that the man they have to get the puck to is Phil Esposito, and of course he's in the prime real estate, about 15 feet out in front of that net.
From the face-off, Koladiev shoots it down the ice, and so far the Canadian team haven't been dangerous while they have the man advantage for the first time in the game. Now the puck is back to the Canadian goal. They start coming up slowly, led by Park, ahead to Esposito. Hadfield coming in on the left side. The puck is bounced. Gilbert from Hadfield. Gilbert from Hadfield.
There'll be no goal here because Rod Gilbert definitely skated through the goal crease, turned his skate sideways. Vic Hadfield's pass hit him on the ankles and bounced into the net. A good play by Vic Hadfield, fighting the puck a little bit, but he gets it out. Gilbert's skate, and it goes into the net. The referee nullifies the goal. Coming up from the rear, we can see Brad Park, good puck control, gets it through. Esposito goes to Hadfield. Now, Gilbert comes into your picture, turns sideways, hits his skate, and in the net. No goal.
Gilbert didn't appear to kick it, but it went in off his skate. Now, of course, the Canadian team are claiming that the only attempt was made to kick it, that it should count because it just bounced off his skate. But the officials decide otherwise, and they have the last say.
I must say, Foster, that the official was standing right on the goal line. He had good concentration on the puck.
So it's still 3-1 for the Soviets. Canada take that over the line. Park couldn't control it with his glove. Down the right side from a high loft. A drive right on. Tried to stop that. He didn't know where to go to. It just bounced wide of the net. Dryden is a little shaky in there. Up the center ice, over the line. A long shot was wide of the goal. Now the Soviets are at full strength. And Kuskin is on, number 4. Seelig stopped him. Luchenko shoots it down the ice. Brad Park going back on the icing call. And that last, what appeared to be a scoring play by Gilbert from Hadfield, was disallowed because it was kicked in by the ruling of the official.
Harry Sinden pacing behind the net, and his anxieties have to be growing at this stage.
Face-off is going to be in the Soviet zone. Petrov, 16, is at center ice. The Clark line out there for Canada. Clark, Henderson, and Ellis. Yakushev now out there for the first time in the game. Cleared over onto the right side. He's mixing up the young ones. Here's a loose puck there. And Shadron, these are the two extra players for the Soviet. They're getting their first try.
If that puck hadn't have been deflected, Shadron was sitting all alone there, and it was only a scramble by one of the defensemen that got back in time to deflect that puck over the boards.
Koladiev, 26, is standing at the blue line, so look out for squalls here as here's a shot, but over the top is Dryden ducked. Soviets get Anderson getting it back, but Koladiev missed it. Koladiev plays it over on the far wing. Shadron had to bounce off his stick. They carry over the line. Yakushev with Anderson, and they fail to go through. Shot right back on the defense to Vasiliev. Over on the right side, Koladiev will stop. Cleared over the line. Ellis tearing in there on that wing with Vasiliev covering him. Petrov ahead to Yakushev. Up to the blue line, a three-man break for the Soviet. Yakushev drops the pass back. The shot is wide. It's into the corner where the Soviets seem to always recover. They still have it there. Yakushev's shot hit Stapleton. He gets it again, took his shot, and it's stopped on the play there by Dryden. And the puck rolls out to Clark. Pat Stapleton goes right down over the line to Henderson. Henderson's pass was knocked down by Shadron. Shadron is partially stopped. Henderson getting it back. And then Stapleton cleared it right back to Dryden. And the Canadian team are having their troubles. Cleared pass by Stapleton to Dennis Howell over on the far side to Goldsworthy. Yakushev was hit by Dennis Hull on that last play. And the puck is now again at center ice. Vasiliev over to Mikolov. He failed to go through, but Maltsev followed, but they were offside. With the score, the Soviets 3 and Canada 1. This is Game 4 from Vancouver. All ready for the face-off. Raglan is returning a helmet to the Soviet bench. 3-1 for the USSR. 7:10 left in the second period. Here's a loose puck. Harlamov wormed his way through. Got it again. Gets a pass in front of the net. Mikolov lost it. Harlamov patches the Gankov. And the drive was about 3 feet wide. Sealing played it back to Ori, who shot it on the boards out to center ice. Another chance goes to center ice. Esposito shooting it into the corner. Raglan covers his man, and the Soviet recovered with Esposito stopping him. Gankov shot it out on the right wing. Ori going back to recover. Harlamov is after him. Mikolov trying to get him too. Dennis Hull scooped it back to the Canadian goal. Sealing into the corner with Mikolov after him. Sealing still trying to get that puck out of there. Maltsev took it from him. Harlamov turning, getting a backhand right foot. He scores! Mikolov from Harlamov. Mikolov firing it in, and it all looks so easy.
This is an example. Now 3 Canadians go into the corner. Of course, the 3 of them are in the corner, the opening in front of the net. Harlamov, good puck control. Vikulov sweeps it in the short side. He caught Dryden going down, and he put it up over his pad.
13-52.
Soviet Union's goal scored by number 18, Vladimir Vikulov, assisted by number 17, Valery Karmalov, and number 10, Alexander Maltsev, at 13 minutes, 52 seconds.
13-52. Mikolov from Harlamov. They were the 2 main ones in. Now Blinov comes in over the line, and the pass goes astray. 5:49 remaining now in the second period, with the Soviets leading 4-1 and have had a big margin in the play. Tretьяка is being held on that last play by Mahovlich, who stuck right with him. Tretьяка couldn't even get up, and he must have held him out there for about 10 seconds. Puck is Petrov at center ice. Mihailov closing in, weaving in front. A pass goes astray, and Bergman went sliding down to cover, so there was no pass.
The Canadian defense is not standing up. They're getting in trouble. They're going for the fake, and the Soviet player is walking right into the slot, and then he's making a perfect pass either to his left or to his right. Bergman and Park have both backed up on several occasions, giving the Soviet the option to either shoot or pass off to one of his teammates.
At last, Soviet goal, 13:52. Mikolov from Harlamov and Maltsev. A long shot on Dryden from the faceoff. Dryden is still rather shaky, but the Soviets are really making it tough, with the USSR leading 4-1, and they're flying. They're great front runners too. Now Perot tried to go through there, failed. Charnier took a chance. You'll notice that it's all individual efforts. Quite a difference. A 3-man rush with Yakushev driving one wide. He had to grab it off the boards. Anderson was with them on that play, so that they're putting a few of the veterans out there with the kids.
A somewhat dejected Frank Mahovlich leaving the ice.
The crowd didn't seem to like the fact that Mahovlich was sitting on Tretьяка there for what seemed like 10 seconds. Kept him right out of the play, but nobody could get a shot on the net. Shadron is going to face off. Got the draw, as they generally do. Here's a shot. It's wide, as Vasiliev let it go. Here's another shot, as Yakushev took a whack at it. Anderson in the corner. He's one of that kid line. Shadron got his pass to the blue line, and the Soviet are monopolizing the play into the corner. Stapleton got it out, but Clark was unable to control the puck, and the Soviet take over again. Shadron over on the right side. Elliott going into the corner, number 6. Stapleton knocked him down. Bill White rang it on the right side. Ellis with Henderson. Henderson tried to deflect it ahead of himself, went into the corner, centered it in front. Puck is recovered by the Soviet. A two-man break on Yakushev. 15 going in on the right side. Bill White deflected his shot with his stick. Ellis knocked the puck out, and sticks went a bit high on that play. With the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 1. Dryden steered that one to the side. He's been hard-pressed in this game. Canadian team knocked it over the line, passing back at center ice. Ragulin shoots it over the line. At Stapleton played it out. Maltsev passed to Vikolov. Vikolov goes right back to get it. He's number 18. He scored the last goal. And they're showing some nifty moves. Bill White to Pat Stapleton. Ahead at center, the Canadian team just can't get away. Here's a quick break for the Soviets. A bad pass that time to Henderson, who cleared it out at center. Ragulin 5, going back to get it. This appears to be the Soviets' best effort of the series, and they're flying. Maltsev at center ice, going up with Karloff on his right here. Karloff right here. And his drive and a terrific speed was just off the target. Bouncing back into the Soviet zone. They're coming again. They keep control of that puck all the time. Harlamov weaving over on that far wing. Made the pass. Sheko just stepped up and couldn't get there in time. And the Canadian team seemed to be tiring under this terrific pressure. Mihailov, 13, goes all the way back into his own zone, but boy, they can stick handle. And they don't let lose that puck for a moment until they're sure. There's Mihailov going right in again, and the shot went off Dryden's skate just wide. Petrov couldn't keep it in, but it was shot there by Raglan with Bill White going back to the net. And the Canadian team are bottled right up. Hadfield now to Bill White. He stopped. A three-man break. Here's Mihailov going in, a drop pass. Petrov fired it wide. And how they pour in there. Puck rolls to center ice. Hadfield golfs one. Tretjak finally had to stop one as the Soviet monopolized the play. Corey is going back on that icing call.
Canadian professional football returns to the CBC television network on September the 9th. The Montreal Alouettes meet the Ottawa Rough Riders live from Lansdowne Park, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. For Sunday football fans, Hamilton plays at Toronto, and the Calgary Stampeders are in Edmonton.
1:39 left in the second period, and the Canadian team are having a tough time of it. A shot by Perreault out there with Cornwallier and Frank Mahovlich went wide. The puck slides down the ice, and it's called for icing. So far, the Canadian team have been unable to get a man in position there at the crucial time. Yakushev going down there now. There's Tretjak. Look at him on the corner of the goal crease. Puck rolls in front of the Soviet defense out to center ice. Ori shoots it into the Soviet zone, and it's brought back at center ice. Shadron goes into the corner. He just fell that time. Ori lobbed it on the glass on that far wing. It slides out over the line. Canada on the attack. Perreault going into the Hobley for the shot. And just when he let go, Paladiev got in front to deflect it. Perreault going in back to the net. Perreault playing a solid game for Canada. Seems to be the main threat on the attack. Puck is back to the Canadian blue line to Mahovlich. Over to Cornwallier. He failed to go through. Yakushev on that left wing to center ice. Over the line. Yakushev turning with Anderson. Stopped by Frank Mahovlich. He picked off the pass. Cleared it over onto the wing to Sealing. Sealing going in too far. Was bumped into the boards by Vasilia. A two-man break for the Soviet with Bergman back. Here's Anderson coming up 22. Slowed down. Yakushev getting in. Right in front of the goal. Anderson took the pass. And Dryden made the save, but a perfect passing play that came very close. Dennis Hull cleared it off the boards. Another try for Shadron coming from the side, and the siren goes to end the second. Has won a game, they tied one. Now then, from the faceoff, Waltz gets it to Vikolov, number 18, but he failed to get his shot. And they don't shoot that puck either until they get a good chance. Waltz on the far wing is covered by Bergman. Puck goes into the corner. Ellis out there with the Clark line. Ellis and Henderson. As the puck is shot off the boards, Park goes up at center ice. Lobbed it to the Soviet defense. Henderson nearly had a chance there. Sagankov failed to clear properly. Here they're coming in from the side. And a shot from the wing there by Henderson went right at Tretjak. Soviet regrouping now. Sagankov, number 7. A very solid defense there. Henderson coming in on the open side. He waited too long to get it away. And the shot was deflected. Bergman keeping it in. Henderson was out there in front, uncovered. Harlamov ahead at center ice. Vikolov couldn't control it, fell. They're changing players on the go. Ragulin over to Sagankov, back to Mihailov, 13. Blenov, 9, is waiting for a pass over on that right wing. Mihailov gets it to him finally, but he's going right to the Soviet line. Now they find a man open. Mihailov going in on the defense. Went by Park, but Bergman stopped him. Luchenko to Petrov, 16. Petrov lobbed it ahead. Mihailov was over the red line, and it's offside.
When Team Canada is getting the puck, instead of establishing control initially, it appears that they're just passing the puck off somewhat in desperation.
8:23 left in the first half of the third period, and then at the 10-minute mark they will change ends. 4-1 for the USSR over Canada, and they've had a definite margin in the play in every department. Bill White getting in for a shot, but it was hurried and wide. Dennis Howell out there on the left wing. Esposito's at center, number 7. Esposito cleared on the right side to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy to Esposito, but he was squeezed out, and they're really checking. There's a grab there. There'll be a penalty. Esposito was grabbed on the play. The Soviet player just held out his hands. He said, well, what can you do? And he had a real hold.
Petrov put the big bear hug on Phil Esposito, taking him down from behind the net. With a man as dangerous as Esposito, what can you do?
2 minutes to hold and 2 minutes 1 second.
2:01, the penalty to Petrov for holding. Now for the second time in the game, Canada will have the odd man advantage. So far, they haven't been able to do very much against this stout defense and the fast closing forwards.
There have only been a few penalties, so this is a very critical power play for Canada.
From the face-off, Cornwallis to Mahavlich to the blue line, over to there's a pass. Gilbert passed it, and it was intercepted, brought down by Mihailov to center ice. Shadron is with him, waiting. He still has it on that wing, and then let it go with Park recovering. Park played it over to Esposito on the right wing. A drop pass to Gilbert. Gilbert cruising in on the right side was stopped by Raglan, with Shadron shooting it out to center. Cornwallis, number 12, cleared it and intercepted by Lechenko and knocked back. And here's the difference on the passing plays. Watch it. Esposito up on the forward pass, closing in, right in on the goal. And it bounced off Tretjak. Raglan forced him to the corner. Lechenko recovers the puck, shot it off Gilbert's stick down the ice, and Park is back of the net. Mahavlich going the wrong way, turns into the corner in front of the net. Frank Mahavlich to the blue line at center ice. Every man up over the line. Partially checked. Back again to the blue line. Cornwallis couldn't get a shot. Park lets one go. It stopped. Mahavlich couldn't head on his skate a scramble around the goal, but no one could get a real shot on the net. Shot down the ice. Mihailov going down with Dryden clearing it on the boards. Hadfield steps out the ceiling. Up to center ice. Cornwallis going in on the offside. He laced one at Tretjak. And Bobrov was greatly excited about that one.
That was a beautiful pass by Vic Hadfield to Ivan Cornwallis, who was breaking in there, but Tretjak just came out and very coolly handled that sizzling shot by Ivan Cornwallis.
Face-off will be marked at center ice, 4-1 for the Soviets. In this last period, 6:19 in the first half. Puck is back into the Soviet zone. Harlamov was bowled over when he collided with Cornwallis. Now the Canadian team attack. Perot is out there with Hadfield, who grabbed the Soviet player Harlamov. A one-man break. Here's a shot by Maltsev that went wide. Bounces off the board to Cornwallis. Down the right side past Kustin, but he couldn't get his shot. Zagankov drove it right down the ice.
An interesting thing there. Maltsev had a one-on-one situation. Lets a terrific shot go. And if you notice, it was also Maltsev who came back and checked Ivan Cornwallis going the other way. Their pursuit is absolutely fantastic.
The face-off is going to be to the left of the Soviet goal. Goldsworthy is coming out on the right wing as the Canadian team make a change. Soviet weathered that penalty without too much difficulty. They had the Canadian team pressing too hard. Perot is now at center, number 33. And he's been one of the main threats for Canada, along with Cornwallis, who's been showing lots of speed, but not too accurate around the net. Yakushev cleared it over to Anderson. Anderson weaves in there, back to Shadron. Shadron's pass to Anderson, right in front of the net. Oh, that was close, a perfect play. Shadron getting the return pass. Now a roller in front of the net there as with the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 1. This is game 4 from Vancouver. Clark line out for Canada there. Face off in the Canadian zone. Shadron is facing off for the Soviet. Yakushev, 15, is on the rim of the circle. As the puck is dropped, this is the strongest effort of the Soviet team this game tonight in Vancouver. Over on the right wing, Pat Stape was given quite a jolt on the boards. Anderson races after a loose puck. Bill White lobbed it back, and it's a return rush. Clark with Henderson and Ellis closing in. Ellis right in! Oh, another save there by Tretjak when Ellis was right in on top of him. Puck is shot down the ice. This is the kind of goalkeeping that keeps you on the go.
That was definitely Team Canada's best offensive chance. A perfect 3-on-2 break. Ronnie Ellis cutting in there sharply from his right wing. He got a good shot. The deflection almost went in the net, but not quite. As they come up the ice now, they set up perfectly on a 3-on-2. Now Ellis is in there, a good save.
From the face-off, the puck goes to the far wing. Stapleton couldn't get there in time. Kuskin cleared it off his own teammate down the ice to Bill White. Blinoff is trying to check him. A clearing pass as Blinoff grabbed that one off the boards. Going pass on the wing back to Blinoff, and Petrov touched it but couldn't control the puck. They have the passing making the Canadian team a bit dizzy at times. Henderson couldn't get past center. Blinoff was checked from behind. Henderson turning with Clark and Ellis, and a long shot from center ice by Henderson. Tretya made sure there was no dropping of the puck.
Canada doesn't seem to be able to get any offensive flow. The pursuit by the Russians is so intense that when the Canadians do get the puck, they don't seem to have the ability to get all going in the same direction with some flow and some unity.
4:15 remaining in the first 10 minutes of the third period. The Soviets having a commanding lead, 4-1, and it's not just the score, it's the way they're doing it. Puck is off the boards. Esposito got it back to Dennis Hull, who's trying his sharpshooting there, but it was way high and hit the glass.
Just a reminder to the hockey fans at home viewing these games, you can participate in voting for the most valuable player on Team Canada by sending the name of your choice to Box 5050 in Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver.
Puck is at the Soviet line. They're still in possession. Harlamov, 17. Their big star going down the right wing. Flipped it in front there. Vikolov couldn't control it as he was smothered. Goldsworthy going back to his own net, pass to Park. Park cleared it on the left wing, but not out. The Soviets shoot it into the corner. Bergman drives it around on the boards. Goldsworthy clears it. Esposito racing after it, picks it up, goes in a pass right in front, and Bergman deflected up, and Tretjak made a beautiful save on a great rush by Canada. That one really was brilliant, all round. Another try, a long pass. Goldsworthy couldn't get up in time. Vikolov passes over. Here's Maltsev breaking right in on Park. He went right in and fired one off Dryden's pass. He went right past Park there. Now another Esposito shooting. Scores with his long shot. Esposito.
Bill Goldsworthy fortunately came in behind to make sure. A good play. Now he drops it back to Esposito in the slot, and a terrific high-rising shot by Esposito hits the crossbar. Goldsworthy comes in and buries it for the second time. He drops it in the slot here, and Esposito rips a shot off the top of the crossbar, and Bill Goldsworthy follows the puck up and buries it.
Team Canada's goal, scored by number 7, Phil Esposito.
Esposito gets credit on the goal.
Assisted by number 2, Gary Bergman.
Bergman
and number
assist.
5, Brad Park. At 6 minutes, 54 seconds.
6:54, Esposito from Bergman and Park. And it's 4-2 for the USSR. Frank Mahovlich on the move is watched on the play by Vladiev. It's shot out to center ice. Goes over into the Canadian zone, shot right back. Yakushev was way outside, so they cleared it all the way back to their own blue line. Vasiliev passes at center, went astray. Mahovlich shot one in over the line, and it's called for icing. It'll be brought back for a face-off in the Canadian zone.
On that goal, obviously, Phil Esposito's shot must have gone right up under the roof of the net and dropped back down, because it did look like Bill Goldsworthy definitely shot it back into the net, but it obviously had been in the first time.
It was a perfect shot by Esposito, who's deadly around the nets. 6:54 was the time of the goal from Bergman and Park. And it's now 4-2 for the Soviets. Petrov is going to face off for the Soviets. He knocked it wide of the Canadian goal. Sealing goes after it. He's chased back behind the net. Blinov failed to stop him. It's scooped out over the line. Mihailov to Kustin, intercepted. Here's Cornoyer coming in on the right side, right in on goal. and he shot and missed it. Now another try. Gets right in front of the net. He fought hard. Mahovlich shoots, and he missed. And the Canadian team really showed some real spark there. Mihailov down the left wing is covered on the play by Sealing. It rolls over on the far side. Perot chased into the side. Mahovlich trying to dig it out. Petrov played it off the boards to center ice. Sealing covers up. Sealing 16 at center, shoots it in. Wide of the target, Cournoyer after it. Drives it back to the net. Mahovlich trapped it on the right boards, took his shot, hit a skate. Another try by Perot, centered right across the goal mouth. Mahovlich from the corner, center right in front, and Perot took a slash at it, and it went off the side of his stick. Mahovlich gets another try, and Tretьяка came up with that screen shot with the puck in his glove with a sensational save.
That is definitely Canada's best effort in the game so far as far as putting pressure. Frank Mahovlich made an absolutely beautiful play fighting off the check, but again Tretьяка, following the puck right to the very end, gets his glove on it and makes a fantastic save off Frank Mahovlich.
Tretьяka is giving the goalkeeping that you have to win a championship. Puck goes into the corner, centered, and it goes right down the ice. 59 seconds left in the first half of the third period, divided into two 10-minute periods. Quick pass to center ice. Clark coming up with Ellison. Henderson couldn't get through that Soviet defense. Slides all the way back to Bill White. Over to Stapleton, to Henderson, covered by Vikulak. Now Ellis intercepts one going in. Here's a shot deflected high into the crowd as Raglan was watching him very closely along with Maltsev.
Assisted by number 7, Phil Esposito, and number 2, Gary Bergman. Une correction sur le but de l'équipe du Canada. Il a été compté pour le numéro 9, Bill Goldsworthy, avec l'aide du numéro 7, Phil Esposito, et le numéro 2, Gary Bergman.
It's a correction there. Goldsworthy was given credit as he touched the puck apparently after the shot had hit the crossbar. Esposito thought it had gone in on the first drive. But Goldsworthy given it, Esposito and Bergman the assist. Still 4-2 for the USSR. Puck is taken by Clark, cleared over onto the wing by Henderson, and the puck was fired there, but not too hard, and Tretьяка again comes up with that glove hand, and it just goes out like a snake.
Foster, for the winner who does select the best player on Team Canada, he will receive the Labatt's Best on Ice Award, a 1973 Ford Mustang Grande. Ballots are available from any Labatt representative or Ford dealer in Canada.
The last scoring play officially, Goldsworthy from Esposito and Bergman at 6:54. Esposito fired the shot. Apparently it just hit the bar and didn't go in. It looked as if it had gone in, but Goldsworthy tipped it in to make sure. It had the official scorers fooled. A siren goes right after the face-off. With the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 2. This is Game 4 from Vancouver. All set for the face-off. 10 minutes left in this game as they jam against the boards. Canada to the right, Soviets to the left. Anderson center right in front of the net. Here's a loose puck, a shot, just went wide. That was close. Esposito failed to get out of the on the first try. Park is forced into the corner. They're watching him as he comes back to the net. Park is on the move. Coming up at center with Goldsworthy on that right side. On into the corner. Jammed on the boards, but still fighting for that puck. Then into the corner on the opposite side. Denisov passes in front. Yakushev recovers. Yakushev with Anderson at center. Over on the left side to Shadrin. Yakushev couldn't get a shot. Park deflecting it. Yakushev takes it on the boards. Bounce off the skate. Knocked back to the blue line. Aladia got it to one side. It's a loose puck still in there. Back of the net. Yakushev set it right in front. Here's an open chance. They score! They found that opening. Shadron was able to come right in there. Nobody near him.
Again, an example of leaving a man clear in front. Look at Shadron. Good pursuit of the puck. Now Shadron comes from the right out in front. He misses it, and tremendous concentration to throw that puck in up over Dryden on the second shot. Dryden makes a first good save, but there's no one there to help him.
USSR 5, Canada 2. Shadron from Yakushev and Vasilyev at 1:05 of the third period to give the Soviet a commanding lead and kind of put the Canadian fire out here. Here's Perot trying to come in on that left wing. Klinov had it momentarily. It's centered in front. But again, they come up with that puck. Petrov at center. Three of them. Klinov on the right. Hylov on the left. He goes in back of the net. Every man comes up. And Dryden had to stop that one, and the puck goes flying into the crowd. And they get that shot on.
The Canadians certainly haven't given up by any means, Foster, but there's no question the Soviets have had the ability to score when they've had to score. Whenever they've been pressed, they've managed to get that goal and protect that lead. But I'm impressed with the way Canada has come back. Bill Goldsworthy in particular has made up for those early penalties with some fine efforts in this latter part of the game.
Soviet are making more changes, but they seem quite fresh out there. Harlamov is taking over on the left wing, Vikolov on the right, Maltsev at center. Ori on the defense now for Canada, 26. Failed to get the pass over. It's taken by Perot, back of the net. Hadfield is on the left wing waiting for a pass. Sealing cleared it nearly onto Vikolov's stick. And the Canadian team trying to get underway. Ori is chased back by Vikolov. Pulled around back of the net. Passed on the right wing. And the Soviets intercept. Back with a forward pass. Harlamov was beaten to it by Ori. The Canadian player Sealing gets it ahead to Hadfield. Hadfield going in with a drive right in front of the net. And the Soviets come up with it. Shooting it out to center ice where Ori tried to drive it back. Harlamov at his own blue line having difficulty getting away from the Canadian checking at this stage. Hadfield went after him. Pass comes to Maltsev, to Vikolov at the Canadian line. Vikolov passed behind, no one was there. Hadfield over on the left side, and a shot by Clark goes into the corner. Stapleton and Bill White going back on the Canadian defense. Soviet in control of the puck, cleared back at their own blue line. Take a good look, Raglan. Over on that left wing, back to Raglan again to Maltsev. Then back to Sergantov. Over on the far side. Now Maltsev breaks out to center ice with Harlamov. Maltsev shoots. It's deflected high into the crowd.
That was a perfect example of the Soviets continually breaking into the open areas. They had everybody standing still. Maltsev sees the opportunity in behind the Canadians' defense, and he will break right out here. The Soviets just control the play. Now watch Maltsev from your left. He'll break right into the opening. He sees a chance to go, and he'll break right up the middle. From the face-off, the Soviets had one shot there, but not on the net. It goes over to Ellis, who's out there with Henderson, and Clark. Henderson has it, playing it back. Here's White getting a shot. It was wide. Ellis back to the blue line. Bill White couldn't control it, but shot it into the Soviet zone. Clark is trying to stop his man. They were able to get onside. The officials, Len, Gagnon, and Gordon Lee. Matt Stapleton had a good drive at Tretjak, but he's almost unbeatable. Puck is taken by Shadron on that wing. Ellis broke it up. Shadron again goes back to shoot it down the ice this time. He'll be called for icing. It's interesting to watch this game at this stage because the Soviets have shown that they have the ability to play hockey any way you want to play it. If you want to play it rough and tough, if you want to throw a lot of checks, they'll play it that way. Right now, the body work, although it is heavy along the boards, it's not the key emphasis in this game. It's been puck control, and the Soviets have dominated the puck whenever they've needed to.
The Soviets are threatening to take the lead in the series. They lead 5-2, but their performance on the ice has more than justified the score. Puck is back at center ice. Dennis Hull was going in there with Esposito. Offside. With the score, the Soviets 5 and Canada 2. This is game 4 from Vancouver. 5:31 left in the game. The puck is at center ice and goes where they with Esposito and Dennis Hull attacking for Canada. Puck is knocked to the blue line. Esposito comes in and goes for the on the right. Here's a shot. And Tretьяка again saved the day. Petrov coming up was knocked down. Dennis Hull returns. Number 10 over the line to Esposito. The shot dribbled right to the goal. Kuskin into the corner for the Soviet. Bergman keeps it in there, and the Canadian defense playing every man up. A quick shot by Dennis Hull, but Tretьяка just nursed that one around back of the net, and he wasn't going to drop it because he hadn't made a safe catch.
Tretьяka has shown a tremendous ability here to concentrate on the puck and follow it very carefully because the puck was scrambling there. Dennis Hull got a quick little flip shot, but Tretьяka came up and played it in the top part of his body.
Right from the drop of the hat, there has been much doubt about which is the better team in this game tonight in Vancouver. Soviets have been outplaying the Canadian team in every department. A quick pass comes over on the right side. Vikolov couldn't get it. Still left there. Baltsev goes off stride. Frank Mahovlich couldn't recover. Sagankov let Perot come back there when he didn't go after the puck. He works in there, right in on goal, and Perot has been sparkling for Canada with some of his moves. He's really tricky. A shot is wide of the Soviet goal. Canada coming in front of the net. Bardoye tried his left there. Perot was in front. Frank Mahovlich right there too. Puck is shot out to center ice by Sagankov. Mahovlich in again with Perot. Couldn't reach the pass. Raglan takes it back to the net. 4:10 left in the game. Two-man break. Harlamov tried to go in on the defense. Couldn't fool him. He was there with Vikolov, and he failed to get a shot. Canada was sealing. Clearing on the right side to Perot. Perot going in on the wing. Pass behind him, and the Soviets recover. It's Vikolov to center ice. Over the line with Harlamov trailing. Sealing played it safely to one side, and the Soviets are watching their checks very closely. Clark now passes to Henderson, going up with his shot. It bounced off Sagankov's arm, and it's out to center ice. 3:28 left in the game. 5-2 for the Soviets, and they seem to have complete control of the game. Harlamov is forced back. Not taking any chances. Finally breaks out in center with a burst of speed. Here's his shot, and it's wide of the target. Bounces off the glass, goes into the corner. Pat Stapleton going back to the net. Falls, trying to get it away, is covered by Anderson. Back to the blue line. Here's a shot. Went wide as Vasiliev had it try. They're coming right in front again, and the pass is deflected to the blue line. Vladiev drove it back to the net. Dryden passed it to Bill White, and the Canadians are having a hard time getting it out. Finally, they shoot it down the ice. Tretьяка has to stop it, and that's one of the few times they've had a weak shot on goal. Clearing pass on the right side. Anderson moving up. Yakushev on that far side. The drive was stopped by Bill White, who went down on his knees.
Foster, the second half of this series will resume in Moscow, September the 22nd, the 24th, the 26th, and the 28th. Team Canada will go to Stockholm, Sweden first to play 2 games there before moving on to Moscow. And of course, we will bring you all 4 games from the Soviet Union.
2:29 left in the game. Soviets still in command, leading 5-2. Petrov is up there for the face-off with Esposito. Dennis Hull on the left wing, number 10. It's Mikhailov who really set the pace in the early part of the game for the Soviets, which he got 2 deflected goals, and both on penalties. That just seemed to kill the Canadians right at that spot. They've given everything they have, but it seemed to unnerve them. Esposito turning with Bergman. Bergman plays it ahead over to Dennis Hull, who couldn't get anywhere on the try. Goldsworthy had passed to him. Now Esposito at 7 to Goldsworthy. It went behind him. Tretьяка playing it to Blinoff, who missed a board check by Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy is really stirring things up when he can. Puck slides out at center ice. Bergman to Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull turning, then gets a long shot. Tretьяка stopped it with ease. Esposito keeps it in. 1:42 left in the game. 5-2 for the Soviets. Bergman at center ice. Now they're going back in their own zone. Hart had cleared it out at center. Blinoff just cleared it into the Soviet zone. Tretьяка going back to the net. Intercepted by Dennis Hull, who just passed without looking. Mihailov, 13 for the Soviets. Drags that puck, gets it out over the line, then Esposito stole it, getting his shot away. Tretьяка stopped that. Dennis Hull tried to dig it out from the corner. Petrov for the USSR failed on his try. Now Dennis Hull with 1 minute left in the game. Goldsworthy on the far wing, trying to center it out. Recovered by Kuskin. Kuskin, here's up to Mihailov, a breakaway. And Bergman gets back to cover as Mihailov had a breakaway on the play. Dryden is out of the net. They're trying to get that puck, but the Soviets recover, and they've been recovering that puck in the corner all night. It hit Mihailov from the back when Petrov let it go. Mikolov centered right in front. Recovered by Canada. Esposito with 27 seconds at center ice. Over on the left wing, Dennis Hull right in on goal. Dennis Hull.
A good, quick shot by Dennis Hull. He caught the goalie. Phil Esposito gives him a perfect pass, holds the 2 defensemen to the middle, lays it into Hull. Now watch this shot. He gets Tretьяка backing up into the net and throws it right up top. Good shot by Dennis Hull.
8:38 is the time.
Dennis Hull. Assisted by number 7, Phil Esposito, and number 9, Bill Goldsworthy, at 9 minutes 38 seconds.
Goldsworthy also got the assist. Dennis Hull from Esposito and Goldsworthy to make it 5-3 and make the score appear more respectable. There's the siren as it goes to end the game, and the USSR have defeated Canada in the rubber game 5-3. It was a tremendous effort by the Soviets, and that goal at the end didn't have really any bearing other than it made it look a little better. With the final score, the Soviets 5 and Canada 3. This is Game 4 from Vancouver.
For the people across Canada, we tried, we did our best, and for the people that boo us, geez, all of us guys are really disheartened, and we're disillusioned, and we're disappointed in some of the people. We cannot believe the bad press we've got, the booing we've gotten in our own buildings, and if the Russians boo their players, if the Russians boo their players like some of the Canadian fans, I'm not saying all of them, some of them booed us, then I'll come back and I'll apologize to each one of the Canadians, but I don't think they will. I'm really disappointed. I am completely disappointed. I cannot believe it. Some of our guys are really down in the dumps. We know we're trying, but hell, I mean, we're doing the best we can, and they got a good team, and let's face facts. But it doesn't mean that we're not giving it our 150%, because we certainly are.
I think, Phil, the disappointment is a natural thing because the whole thing was an unexpected thing. We all live with the National Hockey League. We've all been so proud over the years how great they are.
It's unexpected because of the press said that we were so good. Or not one of us guys ever said we were good.
No, this is the thing. This is the thing that I'm, on behalf of the fans, I must say that probably, since everything is relative, we know how good you people are. The people didn't realize how good the Soviet team was, and now we found out how good they are. I think we can appreciate how good both teams are.
But I'll tell you, we love, I mean, every one of us guys, 35 guys that came out and played for Team Canada, we did it because we love our country, and not for any other reason, no other reason. They can throw the money for the pension fund out the window, they can throw anything they want out the window. We came because we love Canada. And even though we play in the United States and we earn money in the United States, Canada is still our home, and that's the only reason we come. And I don't think it's fair that we should be booed.
Well, Phil, I'm sure that the people can see from these sweat just pouring off your face that you and all your players have given 100%, and we look forward to some great games from you and the rest of your gang when you get over to Moscow, and we can wish you the very best of luck.
John,
keep working hard.
We're going to get better, I know.
Attaboy. Thank you very much, Phil.
Bye-bye.
It has been mentioned the Canadian press chose the boys as the team of the century. I call on now the president of Canadian Press, Eric Morrison. Eric.
Thanks, Dick. Good morning. This morning I want to tell you about a poll that we did that doesn't need a week's worth of recounting because these guys were the runaway favorites in that poll. I'll give you a little bit of background on it, not too much. Each year, for almost half a century, the Canadian press has polled all the newspaper and radio, TV sports editors across Canada for their choice of male, female athlete, and team of the year, and the newsmaker of the year on the news side. We do this, of course, because we're unique in the country. We send news, sports, pictures, audio to 100 dailies, 650 radio, TV stations, and now the internet. So this last year, at the end of the millennium, we took advantage of those relationships to ask them to select a team of the century. Now in Canada, it's no surprise that a hockey team won. It could have been the Oilers of the 80s or the Canadians of the 70s or for that matter, the 50s, and all of them got votes. But there was really no doubt more than half of those surveyed chose Team Canada of 72, and they had a long list to choose from. So I guess that's not a surprise either, because as CP's sports editor at the time wrote, in a story that was featured across Canada, for Canadians of a certain age, that final game remains a burning memory.
Just to close off the indoor portion, a couple of words from a couple of the players. Paul, would you come up for just a minute? You know, we glory today as we look back into the win and everything. But I think, Paul, one thing we tend to forget maybe is that it wasn't easy, never mind on the ice, but you guys weren't the most popular team in the world when you left Canada to go over and play the 4 games in Russia.
Well, I have no recollection of that, Dick. No, it was a little disconcerting, and I think Phil, one of the greatest speeches I've ever heard, really put it on the line. And I think that was the thing that woke the Canadian people up, that, hey, these guys really are trying, and they're at, we have a monumental opponent here. And it was the Canadian people that got behind us, and in particular, the 3,000 people that went with us to Russia. When we lost that first game in Russia and came off the ice to a standing ovation, I mean, the hair in the back of your neck went up. And so today, I thank every one of the Canadians that sent us telegrams, and especially those that were in Russia to support us.
When you went over there, did you think what was going to happen would change your life?
No, I was just along for the ride. I was just, I was having the time of my life. I guess that obviously I would probably been an underdog to make the team, but in life they say, get around people that are better than you are, and you will learn a lot of things and probably elevate your game, and that certainly happened. And picked up a few garbage goals here that other guys did a lot of work on, and have been riding that for 28 years.
I've never heard it called garbage. Thank you, Paul. Come on up here, Phil. You don't have to make the same kind of a speech that you made in Vancouver that night. But, Phil, I just, you know, you look, this is 28 years now, and here we are, and it is still
You haven't
so
changed
much
a day.
Well, thank you. It's all the makeup that they put on.
Little lying bugger that I am. No.
Would you ever have thought that it would have lasted the impact and the image this long?
Well, to tell you the truth, Dick, in the beginning, I think when we first got back, it was like we were really glad it was over. At least I was, and I know my brother Tony was. And I know I got landed here in Toronto, and the next day I was back in Boston. I was on the ice, and I think we played a preseason game the following night. And in being in the United States, you sort of forgot, and you didn't really get all the things that were happening, you know. And I sort of like said, well, it's over. I think let's forget about it and just get it on with the rest of our lives. But to tell you the truth, I was really wrong in that, because this was a special, special thing. And it wasn't only a special thing for, I think, this country. I think it was a special thing for us guys, the guys that played together and went through some really tough times. And I remember very vividly, after that series for years, going against a face-off against Peter Mahavlich or Bobby Clark or what have you, and this little silly grin coming out, you know, knowing that we went through hell together, and that's what we felt like. And for me, it was just a tremendous, tremendous thing. And to get back involved with this thing, of which I am really sorry I didn't earlier, is really, really thrilling. And for us to be having this plaque out here for us, and all of the guys are terrific. And if you wouldn't mind, there are a few guys like Bobby Orr, who was injured, couldn't play. Brad Park's not here. Vic Hadfield, Wayne Cashman, Mickey Redmond, Guy Lapointe, Bobby Clark, as I mentioned, Dale Talon, Gilbert Perreault, Marcel Dion, and I'd like to introduce the families of Billy Goldsworthy. This is his daughter Tammy and her wife, her husband, and the baby. And the other family, Gary Bergman, who Bergie was maybe the most well-liked guy of all the guys on the team. I don't know, there was just something about Bergie, with his pumpkin head and face and what have you. I don't know. There was just something about him. He looked like Elmer Fudd, but he was only 28 years old. You know, it was unbelievable. But his family is also here, and please forgive me. I remember Gary. Gary, would you stand up, please, and introduce your brother and your Just yell it out, please. Stand up. Brandy and Blake. Brandy and Blake.
My father was a lifetime hockey coach in the National Hockey League, and he always used to say that it is tougher to coach a good team / great team than it is to coach a so-so team. But when you get together a team that is made up totally of stars, it has to be one heck of a difficult job to keep things on track. And even more so with what Team Canada and everybody associated with it had to put up with during 1972, especially when they got overseas to Moscow. One guy pulled it all together, and it resulted in the victory, and he deserves all the credit that he has always received. He is a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of Team Canada 72, Harry Sinden. He went on to a fine career as a coach, manager, executive in the National Hockey League and elsewhere. The assistant coach of Team Canada 72, John Ferguson.
You want to read what's on the plaque?
Call on number 3, Pat Stapleton. Pat. Number 1, he was with the Boston Bruins, Ed Johnston. He played in all 8 games of the 1972 series. He was a Toronto Maple Leaf through and through, Ron Ellis. And a right wing, and a fellow who scored a very big goal for Canada in Game 7 in Moscow, number 8, Rod Gilbert. From the Chicago Blackhawks, Dennis Hall. From the New York Rangers, the left winger, number 11, Vic Hadfield. is the famous picture of Yvan Cournoyer and Paul Henderson together when the goal went in will live in our memories forever. Number 12 from the Montreal Canadiens, Yvan Cournoyer. And number 15, Red Berenson. Number 16, Rod Sealing. A terrific hockey player with the Blackhawks and, of course, with Team Canada 72, Bill White, number 17. And that brilliant shorthanded goal that's been replayed and replayed and should be replayed more often was scored by number 20 on Team Canada, Peter Mahovlich. Jean-Paul Parisi. Number 23 on Team Canada 72, Serge Savard. Number 26 on Team Canada, Don Ori. And number 29, who else? Ken Dryden. Number 35, Hall of Famer Tony Esposito. Number 36, Richard Martin. Number 37, Jocelyn Guévremont. And a Maple Leaf on defense, number 38, Brian Glennie. From the Chicago Blackhawks, number 21, Stan Mikita. Number 18, Jean Rattel. 8 games, 7 goals, 3 assists, 3 game winners, and instant recognition as a lifetime legend in Canadian sport. Number 19, Paul Henderson. The team captain of Team Canada 72, number 7, Phil Esposito.
On behalf of the team and our families, I'd like to thank the Canadian press. Believe it or not, Phil Esposito is thanking the press.